Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the podcast where we look at an upcoming events in the stars and numbers, the astrology and numerology, to get insights and inspiration. And in this case, we're going to focus on the Pisces New Moon, which comes around once every year, happening on March 2nd. Now, Pisces is such a wonderful sign of unity, of love, of compassion, dreams, spirituality. So it's always a lovely time of the year when this new moon comes around. Now, this new moon creates a gorgeous conjunction with Jupiter, which is so exciting because Jupiter is the original ruler of Pisces, and Jupiter is very close to Neptune as well. All four are in Pisces: Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Neptune. So this creates a stellium. And stelliums are very intense, focused energy. In this case, it's very positive, focused, intense energy. There's also a sextile to Uranus from the new moon, which brings fortunate, surprising, spiritual breakthroughs and blessings and healing. So there's just so much here about freedom, inspiration, and a powerful spiritual awakening. Now, the new moon is exact on March 2nd, 2022 at 5:35 p.m. and that's Universal Time in London. So that'll be 12:35 p.m. Eastern Time, New York, and 9:35 a.m. LA Time Pacific. So it's important to note that this is the final of 6 consecutive new moons at 12 degrees. And 12 reduces to 3. March is the third month, so 1 plus 2 for 12 equals 3. March is the third month, and 3 times 3 equals 9, and March in 2022 is a 9 universal month. So why are these numbers important? Because 3 and 9 are in the 3-6-9 triad of love, of self-expression, of joy, of expression in any sense of the word. So creativity, this is the creation triad. And the power of 3 is very important because it represents the past, present, and future. It represents father, mother, child. It represents mind, body, spirit. So anything that comes in 3s is always very potent energy. And because this number 3 ties into the number 12, 12 reduces to 3, and this new moon happens at 12 degrees, the 6th one in the row, and remember 6 is part of this 3-6-9 triad. This is a really fortunate moment here because we're breaking away from what the shadow side of 12 represents. For the last 6 months, we've really been awakened more than ever to break away from being a victim, from letting others dictate to us how to feel, what to do, what to focus on. And instead, we are freeing ourselves up to find that independent, sovereign approach to life that resonates purely with our heart, as opposed to being a hand-me-down or a top-down belief or expectation that is placed on you. So this has been the big theme for the last 6 months, and then it really culminates with this Pisces new moon in a very fortunate way because of that conjunction with Jupiter and with Neptune, the two rulers of Pisces, Jupiter being the original ruler. And Jupiter, of course, represents joy and wisdom and expansion. So there's a lot here that is just making this experience one of incredible letting go, Pisces being the final sign, so it really does govern the end of something. And then at the same time, the new moon is creating this juxtaposition of new beginnings in the letting go and release sign. So this is leading up to one of the most important astrological events this year, and that is when Jupiter and Neptune actually form an exact conjunction, and that will be on April 12th. So again, that number has appeared, and if you think about it, the Piscean age that we have left, we've moved into the Aquarian age. We're at the very beginning of that 2,000-year age now. The Piscean age, the shadow side of Pisces, is also to give your power away, to be a victim. So we're really coming to terms with new beginnings of freedom. And that's why the 60-degree sextile to Uranus is so important. It's a very harmonious aspect. Uranus is about freedom and independence of thought and moving into the future without any constraints. And so there's this real understanding of we've completed a whole big long chapter in human history of being basically told what to do or told what to think or told what to believe, and are starting a brand new 2,000-year chapter of total freedom, where the two waves of Aquarius are actually separate. So that means that we have an identity of our own, and then we join the consciousness, the collective, with our free understanding that we are not beholden to the collective. We are just part of the collective. We are all one, and yet we are all individuated. So it's a very different approach. It is not one where you feel obligated to follow a certain line of thought or belief, but one where you actually think for yourself and explore. If anything, freedom is about exploration. So the magic of this new moon is that you're being asked to create a space so that you let go in order to allow new frequencies, new opportunities, new wisdom through Jupiter to be born within you. Something that aligns better with you, that matches your frequency in a more harmonious way. Neptune and Pisces are all about beauty and harmony. And so they also govern dreams. So you will come out of your dream state, be fully conscious about what needs to end so that you can begin fresh with every moment, every thought, every conversation. So this energy of this positive new moon is really creating a situation that feels beyond your wildest dreams, because you've been released from the shackles of expectation. And that is truly symbolic of freedom. So pay attention to any symbols that come your way, any messages that come up in your dreams, because you're really ready to let go and allow your dreams to come to fruition now. They may be very vivid. They may be prophetic. Jupiter, Pisces, Neptune, incredibly intuitive combination here. So anything is possible. This is really why you're here, is to understand that you are an infinite being of light, that you come from God consciousness, that you are part of a collective that is totally eternal and infinite. And that means anything is possible. That's what infinity means. So that's what you're here to embody. That is what you trust in, is your own ability to tap into those infinite opportunities, that infinite sense of who you are. So this Jupiter Neptune meeting with the sun and moon in Pisces is really activating your destiny. Your destiny being what lights you up with a sense of purpose. And the growth is enormous. The flip side of 12, the positive expression of that 12 degree, is self-growth, is learning, is being the eternal student. And Jupiter also governs growth, expansion, good fortune. So the personal growth factor is big, the collective growth factor is big, and when you add Uranus to the equation, Uranus being the ruler of the new age that we have entered, being exactly sextile the new moon, while Uranus is in Taurus, which is a very stable sign of abundance and pleasure and values, this brings a lot of exciting opportunities to Jupiter's growth and Jupiter's wisdom and Neptune's ability to enhance spiritual growth. And so you feel very generous, you feel open-hearted, you feel abundant, prosperous, you are ready to expand your horizons, And you can improve on so many levels: wealth expansion, health, happiness, spiritual service, new relationships, intimacy that reaches beyond what it's ever done before, meaning this trust in yourself allows you to be very vulnerable and open. So nothing is hidden, nothing is cloaked in illusion. And then we also have Mercury conjunct Saturn. And this conjunction is exact literally an hour before the new moon is exact. So it's very much part of this new moon. It's really amazing for concentration and for being able to think very clearly. So the ability to think with clarity, critical thinking, productive thoughts that are not distracting you from doing what you're here to do, but literally are giving you the sustained concentration power, the patience, the sound judgment to move beyond old habits. And that includes how you think, how you speak, how you convey your message, and then you get into a positive approach instead. So you want to be very conscious about how your thoughts are impacting what you're saying and obviously conveying and communicating, and how you connect those to your personal life, but also your professional life. So Saturn governs your professional life. So this is very potent energy in that it helps you to really get down to the nuts and bolts of how your thoughts impact your reality. And then we have another stellium. I mean, almost every planet is in a stellium except, or a conjunction, except for Uranus. Neptune, Jupiter, Sun and Moon, Mercury and Saturn are in a conjunction. And then the final stellium is Pluto, Mars, and Venus. So it's pretty much every planet except Uranus. This is extraordinary. Uranus is also the ruler of the New Age. So hey, Uranus is showing the way here towards freedom. So the final stellium, Mars and Venus, which have been traveling together as a unit since February 16th and continue to travel together and showing us our internal divine feminine and sacred masculine, are bringing us to a place of balance. How important that is? Well, there's a stellium with Pluto, Mars, and Venus, and that exact triple conjunction happens just hours after the new moon and on March 3rd. So we got 3-3. So again, that triad of creation, the mother, father, child creation, is showing up in this stellium, which involves 3 planets. I should say 3. So Mars and Venus and Pluto together create intense, powerful energy. And when you use it for an actual purpose, because Pluto is empowering, Pluto purges, and through the purging process, through the letting go and making space for what actually matters now in every moment, you empower yourself. So when you use this energy of the stellium, which is such a potent creation in the heavens when 3 or more planets get together, when you use it with high intentions, it's going to work for you in miraculous ways. So whatever you're passionate about, whatever lights you up with joy, you want to follow that thread. You want to be purposeful. You want to activate the energy constructively instead of letting it get out of control. And that means if you are able to harness this amazing opportunity and focus and drive that, because Mars is involved here too, right? A major transformation is possible. And transformation happens within. And so this Mars-Venus conjunction, yes, it's also about love, but it is truly about your internal ability to be in balance with the light and dark, the masculine and feminine, the ability to not take sides, but be in total balance. And by the way, we have a very challenging representation right now of what happens when there is conflict and there is a lack of balance. And that conflict that's evolving right now, we're talking about the Ukraine-Russia situation, it is a symbol of what it is we're moving away from, that we don't want to repeat a sense of fighting the other side in order to get some kind of goal accomplished, because there's nothing that gets accomplished through the frequency of conflict. And so this Venus-Mars conjunction is reminding us to not get into a war per se, an internal war within you, where you're feeling that internal division, because the division itself removes you from your ability to intuit and to stay above the lack of compassion for another. So really, it's an invitation to love even the most unlovable. And that's really where you know that you are connected to God consciousness, to source, is when you are able to share love even with those or situations that you find are unlovable. So the Pluto conjunction with Mars and Venus is very important to deepen those feelings of love. You know, Venus rules Taurus. That is where Uranus is, the ruler of the Aquarian age. And Venus is truly about affection and reaching out, and the importance of seeing the beauty and of not moving away from your values. If your values are filled with love, then that is where you're going to be heading. If you value something that is not loving, that is also where you'll be heading, because Pluto is going to expand it. So is Jupiter. Remember that Jupiter and Neptune are conjunct this new moon, and Neptune is borderless and Jupiter is about enhancement and expansion. So whatever you focus on now, if it is separation, you will feel it much more. So it is very important to be empowered through love, passion, beauty, peace, and to focus on creation, to focus on inner wisdom and your ability to get yourself out of any situation through trust, through listening. You know, this is a magical new moon. It is very, very positive. It also gives you a lot of power to create. And you can use that power however you wish, but it will move rapidly. It will expand whatever you focus on in a way that will really take off. So you'll get feedback right away. And if you can just remember that Pisces energy is about connecting with what is beyond. So beyond the veil, connecting with the divine, with God, with source, with the universe, with love, with light. If you can just focus on that the veil is being parted and we're seeing this stunning new world, and we are using our intuition in ways that are seeking answers through wisdom, through compassion. This is a new moon of spiritual rebirth. This is a new moon that allows you to surrender. And if Pisces is anything, it is surrendering to love. So when you surrender your constant thoughts of, whatever it is that's separating you from your heart, your thoughts that are getting distracted by, for example, listening to the news, watching TV, whatever it is, right? That's a good way to lose your connection to source. So it is very important to watch yourself, observe yourself, and surrender to love. That's the key to inner peace, is actually surrender. And if you try to fight what is appearing in front of you, you will feel that sense of separation, and you will have a life of suffering. There won't be an ease because you've decided to move away from allowing the flow of the universe, of life itself, to show you the way, as opposed to listening to whichever source you are giving your power to for advice on how to think about a situation. It's not for us to take feedback from other people's point of view of what's happening. It is for us to turn to source for inspiration on how to move forward in the most loving way. And that's how you tune to goodness. That's how life will feel supportive and good to you no matter what is going on around you. You're here to uncover what it is that is blocking peace and love and happiness. And we're seeing obvious signs of that right now. But those signs have been there all along. And they're just coming into our conscious awareness much more now because of the times we're in 2022. So what you need to give up to no longer suffer is nothing tangible. It's just being willing to let go of thoughts that are separating you from source, from the light of wisdom. So it's really actually very simple. And when you tune into this sense of beauty in your life, the present moment, which is filled with potential and is such a incredible way to tune into your divine source, it changes everything. So the Pisces full moon, which is conjunct Jupiter, is all about finding that happiness. It's all about embodying peace. It's all about living here, now, fully in a rich, complete, happy life, to feel enriched from within. You're here to discover that joy and peace are actually within you. They're not external, right? These solutions are not external. The solution is within you. And you're here to express that solution to the world. You're not here to do anything except access that inner knowing. That is it. To relax and surrender to that immense, quiet space within you that gives you everything. And that's where eternal love resides. And that's what Pisces represents, is that unconditional love. And that is the spiritual awakening for this Pisces new moon. It's an extraordinary moment, one that also activates the number 2, happening on March 2nd. In 2022. And this number 2 is truly about the joining of the feminine and masculine energies within each one of us. To not feel division, but to have a bridge. To bridge the right and left, the light and dark, the feminine and masculine, without judgment, only discernment. And discernment comes from acute listening within. So have an amazing Pisces new moon. Remember that your own star code reveals so much about you and can help guide you to that place of inner peace through your birthday, your birth certificate name, and your astrology chart. And to find out more about your star code, go to starcodeclass.com for a free masterclass I created for you. It includes a free handout as well. It's really fun, and you get to also discover your neighbors, your family, your friends, and how they have a specific purpose and destiny just like you. So everybody's designed in a very unique way, and that can be discovered at starcodeclass.com. So enjoy that free masterclass. And I will see you next week for our next Star Codes episode. Lots of love.